Welcome to St Joseph's Hospice. This is a short session to introduce you to volunteering with us. Founded in 1905 by the Sisters of Charity, St Joseph's Hospice is one of the oldest and largest hospices in the UK. We provide high quality specialist palliative care and support to people in our local community who have a life-limiting illness. All our services are free of charge. As an organisation, it's important to us that we are supporting people in the time they have left and to live as well and as active as they can. This can include managing physical symptoms such as their pain and helping with everyday things such as social care, dressing and providing emotional support. But what is palliative care? Palliative care is an approach that improves the quality of life of patients and their families facing life-threatening illness. This is achieved through the prevention and relief of suffering by means of early identification and impeccable assessment and treatment of pain and other problems, physical, psychosocial and spiritual. Cicely Saunders founded the first modern hospice. She was responsible for establishing the discipline and the culture of palliative care. She introduced effective pain management and insisted that dying people needed dignity, compassion and respect. She changed our whole ethical approach so that death and dying were not seen as taboo, but a natural part of life. St Joseph's Hospice was founded by the Sisters of Charity in 1905 and is located in Mare Street, Hackney. It has a special importance within the global history of hospice and palliative care. To find out more about our origins, please go to our website where there is a section on the history of the hospice. Our mission is to provide compassionate specialist palliative care to people in the diverse community of East London and the City who are living with life-limiting illness. We treat each person as unique, encouraging and enabling them to reach their full potential until the end of life. Our 5 core values are fundamental to how we live and work in the hospice. We are constantly striving to improve by using our values for guidance with regards to decision making, ensuring quality, justice, compassion, advocacy and respect for all in relation to our patients and each other. Our co-created values and behaviours framework helps us to translate our values into the workforce behaviours that we expect to see every day. The hospice is a huge organisation which requires the support of many people in many different areas. As you can see, there are quite a few areas where support is provided. Our clinical teams support our patients physically, whilst our infrastructure is taken care of by everyone from our housekeepers to our facilities team. Our psychologists, therapists and chaplaincy team provide emotional support. Whilst our volunteers are everywhere, both in and out of the hospice, providing support, and we couldn't do it without them. So what communities do we serve? Well, we serve some of the most diverse communities in Europe. There are over 120 languages spoken in Hackney alone, and on any given day there can be 45 different languages spoken by staff, patients, visitors and callers. We support a population of 1.24 million. In addition to our 3 core boroughs of City and Hackney, Tower Hamlets, Newham plus Waltham Forest, we receive referrals from surrounding boroughs such as Islington, Haringey and Enfield, as well as from further afield reaching a population of 2.1 million. So where does our care take place? Well, our inpatient wards has a total capacity of 51 beds when all 3 wards are open, which was the case during the pandemic. However, our bed capacity in normal operational level is 34 across 2 wards, which is Lords and St Michael's. On any given day, up to 28 beds are in service. Our day hospice runs 3 days a week with different outpatients visiting every day. Our community and palliative care team makes visits to patients out in the community every day. So how are we funded? Well, we need to raise £7 million a year to run the hospice. This additional income is raised from legacies, donations and other fundraising initiatives that we undertake. We owe a lot to the generosity and goodwill of our local communities. So let's talk now about how you can get involved. So there are a number of different roles. Let's start off by looking at our retail and fundraising roles. So retail volunteers. Retail volunteering is a great role. We have a number of shops in Hackney where you could be serving customers or sorting donations. If you don't have a lot of time, then the event squad may be the role for you. You can cheer on our runners at events such as the Hackney Half Marathon or the London Marathon. Then there are community fundraising volunteers, and this role includes anything from providing support events such as bucket collections in London stations or in local supermarkets. Then we have hospice-based roles, and there are many different roles that you can get involved in. Sometimes we require admin volunteers, and if you have experience of using a computer Microsoft packages, we may have a role that suits you. Then we have cafe volunteers. Our cafe is very popular with staff and visitors alike, and the role includes serving customers, handling and preparing very simple foods. Next up, we have our drinks trolley. This is one of our more popular volunteering roles. It is patient facing. Our drinks trolley visits the wards twice a day at lunchtime and then in the early evening. And it provides our patients with a drink and an opportunity for our volunteers to spend time with our patients, which is important to both parties, I think. Next up, we have the activities trolley, which you can see from the photo here. This is a new role and a very exciting role. It's another patient-facing role, and our volunteers take our activities trolley onto the wards every afternoon. And the idea is we invite our patients to take part in games, crossword puzzles, and other activities. It gives them a chance to stretch their mind a bit, but also to socialise with other patients, with staff and visitors and other volunteers. And it's quite a popular role. And last up, in regards to hospice-based roles, we have the day hospice escort volunteers. As you know, our day hospice runs 3 days a week, and we require volunteers to escort patients to their home via our ambulance. This is normally in the afternoons. So all of these roles come with full training. Next up, we have our community-based roles. Now, we have some fantastic roles in our local community, and if face-to-face contact with patients is something you're looking to do, then one of these roles that we offer could be for you. Namaste Care, to start with, is a support program designed to improve the quality of life for people living with advanced dementia and their families. Our trained and supervised volunteers visit people regularly to provide Namaste Care in a number of different settings, from care homes, their own homes, to the hospice. And this role can involve activities such as giving hand massage, making a memory box, or reading a favourite book or poem. No previous experience is required for this very rewarding role, and full training and support will be provided. Next up, we have Empowered Living. Now, the Empowered Living team, ELT for short, volunteers are trained to provide support to our patients with their rehab goals. This takes place in the homes, and this could be helping with an exercise program, or just providing a hand massage, or providing emotional support to someone. And this role is based in Tower Hamlets, Hackney, and Newham. Next up, we have the Carer Service. This role supports unpaid family carers in East London, and this service offers free respite where a volunteer will sit with the patient for a few hours, providing companionship while the carer has a break. Our volunteers also provide emotional support for unpaid carers, helping to reduce isolation. Then we have the Islington Bereavement Service. Now, our trained volunteers offer emotional support and compassionate listening to bereaved adults in Islington in one-to-one and group settings. This role can involve directing people to services, providing a listening ear and companionship. This role takes around 5 to 6 hours a month and requires attendance of a 3-day induction training. Finally, we have Compassionate Neighbours, and this is more of a social movement. It was founded by St Joseph's in 2014 to help reduce loneliness and social isolation. Our trained volunteers offer friendship and a listening ear and supporting people to stay connected to the local communities who are at the end of life through age or illness. And these are all roles that are on offer, and again, full training is provided for these roles. Next up, we want to talk about our expectations, what our expectations are for you and what they are for us. We want volunteering at the hospice to be a meaningful experience for you and a mutually beneficial relationship to patients and staff as well. We therefore suggest that you're prepared to commit to 6 months to a year at the hospice. You can expect to give a minimum of around 6 hours a month of your time in any given role. This works out around 1.5 hours a week. If you don't have time to commit to a role, why not take a look at fundraising and one-off events? Supporting you is important to us, so we provide you with opportunities to exercise self-care as well as feedback to us, voice concerns and give suggestions. We provide regular meetings with our service leads and other volunteers in which you can share on your experiences and reflect upon them, gaining support from your peers as well as our managers. We also provide regular clinics which are open to staff and volunteers, which are run by our CEOs. All roles are fully supported by full training. Anyone who wishes to apply to volunteer with the Empowered Living team, the Namaste and Carer services, are required to attend a core training session, which is one day and run by the volunteers team. This includes sessions on safeguarding and grief and loss. This is followed by role-specific training led by the services. However, our Compassionate Neighbours and Islington Bereavement Services only require you to attend a specific training. During your conversation with the leads, they will discuss with you the next available training dates and how the training works. Whilst the benefits to us are clear, it's also to look at the benefits for you as a volunteer, and there are many, and they include support in your role, opportunity to make new friends and acquire new skills. And for some roles, there's reimbursement of travel and meal expenses. Also, after volunteering for 6 months, a reference can be provided upon request. Our aim is to move you through the application process as quickly as possible so that you can start your volunteering. So the next part is about our volunteer journey. If you've already let us know the role that you're interested in, we'll contact the service lead and ask them to contact you so they can talk about the role and arrange training for you. If you aren't sure of your role, please let us know and we can support you in making a decision that's right for you. In the meantime, we will collect references for you and start the police check application process, which is known as DBS, or Disclosure Barring Service, if you require one. And we'll let you know whether you need one or not. And we pay for that, so it's free to you. When you start your role, you can expect to have a pass ready for you. We'll also keep you posted on any training that's available to you via our weekly newsletter. And every 3 years, we'll ask you to attend a refresher training course where appropriate, and we'll reapply for a DBS if it is required for your role. Finally, thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions or you want to find out anything else, please feel free to call us on 0208 525 6032, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.